Yo, and welcome back to the Banter Boys podcast. My name is Sanji. With me is Ras. How you doing, boy?
Welcome. I'm okay. It's remember how I told you I broke my thumb last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to the doctor and they're like, "Oh, actually, we need you in a much more stricter splint." So they've got me in something that's like wrapped all the way up to my like mid arm. My thumb is like a Hulk thumb, I've got like big hands. I've essentially lost the thumb finger as like I can't use it at all. So like I'm eating with my left and like I'm doing everything with my left. I'm trying to write with my left. My typing is super slow now because like there's just one big thumb that's kind of coming in the way. So apart from that, things are pretty okay. This weekend we have Neeraj's he has a wedding event here, and then we were like doing dances and stuff because they see weddings and stuff, and why wouldn't you? So I'm pretty excited for that this coming weekend.
Your voice sounds different. Are you not doing well? Like, do you have a cold or something?
My room is super cold. So then when I wake up, and it's super dry. So when I wake up, it's just like gets me all this like kind of congesty, even though like I'm not sick, but I just wake up because my room is so dry and like it just like hits me because I'm like, I need to find a humidifier for my room. I was just doing a COVID test too, so I'm like COVID negative. So, knock on wood, like, everything looks good. So
wait, how often are you testing yourself?
So I party on the weekend, and then I test, make sure I didn't party too hard, and then I party at work, and I make sure I didn't party too hard at work. Fingers crossed, all of them have come back negative, so I'm doing okay. I try to do a maximum twice a week, nothing more. Sometimes I'll stick with once a week, depending on what my schedule is. So, yeah.
I mean, you don't drink, so like, define party.
Hanging out with friends and playing sports.
Okay, see, such a responsible guy, man.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, it sucks to see that you're kind of beaten up at the moment. I can just imagine you like giving thumbs up to people. Like I don't know if it's awkward or you just like super enthusiastic when you give a thumbs up. It's like massive thumbs up.
Yeah, people on chats are just like sending me thumbs up. I'm like, bro, that's not funny. Like, yeah.
Yo, okay, so before we continue, do you want to quickly plug the socials and remind people how they can interact with us, etc.?
For sure. So you can catch us on Twitter and Instagram. Our handle is @BantaB. You can catch us on Discord, in the Draft PL channel, hashtag BantaBoys, hashtag 6585, and on Reddit, u/Banta_boys. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, and YouTube, all under the name of Banter Boys.
If this is your first time listening to the Banter Boys podcast, welcome. We talk everything fan tracks and sometimes OFPL draft, but basically just draft. So typically how we do things is we have a first half where we do a bit of a data dump of the previous game week, catch up on our leagues and see how we're doing. We'll take a halftime pint. Second half, we answer some Twitter questions that we got from our listeners and fans. And then we run through some FA/waiver picks that could help you win your game week. But as always, before we get started, we, still like to have a bit of a light chat and stuff like that. Bro, for my program, the masters that I'm doing, I got to basically play with cadavers last week.
Nice.
Sections of the body.
I mean, maybe not nice.
Well, I mean, I was kind of hungover that morning, so it didn't help all the formaldehyde and inhaling all of that. I was definitely like, yeah, I need to kind of go home now. But it was really cool to like see segments of the arm, like being able to play with tendons in the arm, and you can see like the fingers move and that sort of stuff. So, I mean, cool in a very creepy way if you're into that sort of stuff,
I mean, that's pretty cool. Like cool in the sense that like, whoa, cadavers, whoa, dead people.
Yeah.
But like, gotta respect them too, right? So you're just like, okay, this is purely professional, purely academic. No messing around here.
Yeah, like we couldn't even take our like smart devices, any of that sort of stuff, because like there's no imagery, nothing, like you can't do any of that sort of stuff. So it's really, really strict, but it was quite cool, It was like, it felt like we were there also like listening to actual surgeons and doctors in training doing their sort of like how to say, like testing their knowledge while they're running through explaining like various parts and anatomies and questioning us at the same time. It's a very different pace and style to like typical engineering programs that I've been used to.
Yeah, because I guess you don't really have that biology and that anatomy background either. So
Yeah, the last time I did bio was maybe A-level bio. And I mean, I did like experiences like with medical devices, and I've like seen a surgery live and done stuff like projects related to that. But this level of like, yeah, reading and studying the human body and inspecting and diagnosing, and yeah, it's wild, bro. I'm like learning different planes, sagittal plane, the coronal plane, you know?
okay.
Yeah. Thought I'd drop a little lingo.
I was like, you're probably thinking head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes, knees
Definitely
and toes.
sang that.
And that's all you know. Yeah, that's kind of it.
Basically. You know what rhymes with toes though is goes, and Ole is gone. Beautiful segue.
Good
there.
transition. Nice.
Thank you. But yeah, Ole finally fired, you know, and then Mr. Carrick himself has been given the job. I guess it's what do they call it? Intermediate position? What do they call it?
Interim manager.
Interim manager.
Or
yeah.
caretaker.
Yeah.
I think he's caretaker. He's not appointed manager. He's just caretaker till they find out what to do. Did you see that Jamie Carragher tweet after they beat Villarreal last night?
Yeah, I saw that Jamie Carragher doesn't know how to spell the word right.
But man basically went off be like, this is, you know, Carrick at the wheel. Give Carrick a contract. Give him all the money now. Give him the big contract right now. You know, he's trying to like, you know, play the thing on how Ole was at the wheel, and like all the United fanboys were just like, whoa, what? This is so crazy, and he's so good.
I did see also possible news that Steve Bruce might also take the job, or he was interested in it, and I'm really praying for that. Like,
yeah, I saw that.
That would take the bands to the next level.
I don't know how accurate these reports are, but Brendan Ferguson backed him as well, and I was like, no way they appoint Steve Bruce as an interim manager.
Please do it. Please, Glazers. Please do it. I just want the lulls to continue, you know? But I did watch that Manchester United game versus Villarreal, and they were not convincing. For like, I would say they were lucky to go in 0-0 at the break. Like, David De Gea pretty much saved their ass as usual. And I mean, the substitutions were definitely better than what Ole typically does. Donny van de Beek got the start and all that. But yeah, they did not play well. And yeah, they just kind of took their chances, and then Sancho had a wonder finish sort of thing. But there wasn't anything that really stood out. If I had to pick best player on the pitch, it might have been Sancho. But still not like, I don't know, like, you know, I wish he was my first pick this draft, this season sort of thing. Yeah. But I think we'll be okay on the weekend. But yeah, I think, you know what? Now we can get down to the biz part of the pod.
Yeah.
Ay. Fantasy with the Banta Boys.
Okay, so starting with the data dump, and we're looking at game week 12 data. So typically we look at a few categories: key passes, shots, accurate crosses into the box, and just some random extra stuff. So starting with key passes, the highest number completed was 5 in the previous game week by 3 players: Stuart Dallas, John Shelvey, and James Ward-Prowse. Then 4 key passes by 8 Nuri, T-Bebe, and McNeil. And then 3 key passes by a long list of players: Podence, Chilwell, Gallagher, Billy Gilmore, Cucho Hernandez, Luza, who's a Watford player. He's not a loser, he's a winner. But Matt Ritchie, Lucas Moura, Matty Target, and Donny van de Beek. Russ, any comments on this?
I mean, I think a lot of people were really positive with how Donny came on after the first, like in the second half for United. That number 5 list, obviously JWP is a frequent flyers on that list, but Dallas and Shelvey, like, you know, that's pretty surprising. That really kind of shows Conte's, like, the amount of work that he has to do at the moment, right? Like, Dallas is getting 5 key passes against you, like, you know, they played Leeds this weekend, right? Yeah. Spurs played Leeds, yeah. Yeah, so some work to do there. Good to see Shelvey on the list, though. He's gonna get a red card next week, but he's gonna get
Who's that, Lord Voldemort? But that was one of the things we talked about, possible change of personnel now that Eddie Howe's in, because he does like to, ball playing sort of team, like possession based team, attractive football, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's good to see Shelby back in the squad. I think his ghosties were pretty good as well. Got around 14 points this previous game week. What's crazy about Dallas is that he was playing in right back, I believe. So he was out of position and he did that well. But I mean, if you look at the lineup on paper, it wasn't really like a 4-2-3-1. They kind of were like 3-4-3, where Calvin Phillips kind of dropped into that centre back position and was pretty much man marking or like dealing with Harry Kane sort of thing. It was quite a great watch. Like, Calvin Phillips is way too good for that team, bro. But yeah, I mean, T-Bebe there as usual. Billy Gilmore popping back into the squad. It's good to see him. He got around 15.5 to 16 points, depending on your scoring format. But yeah, I mean, as much as Donny got 3 key passes here, Donny was shit in the Champions League last night, mate. So, neither here nor there sort of thing. But let's move on.
Yeah.
To shots and how many of them were on target. So the highest number of shots attempted was 7, and by 2 players. Dan James of Leeds, he had 4 of them on target. Alan St. Maximin, he had 2 of his 7 shots on target. Then the next number is 6 shots attempted, 2 on target by Josh King, 2 on target by Callum Wilson. Then 5 shots attempted, 2 on target by Christian Benteke, and then 4 shots attempted. Long list again. Joelinton had 2 of them on target. Adam Armstrong had 1 of them on target. Dennis the Menace from Watford with 1 of them on target. Cristiano Ronaldo, 1 of them on target. El Yunusi, 0 of them on target. Geldhart, the little kid striker for Leeds, who's kind of taking Bamford's and Rodrigo's place at the moment because both of them are injured as well. He had 2 of his 4 shots on target. And finishing off that list, Goodmanson with 2 on target. João Pedro of Watford, 2 on target. Harry Kane, 1 on target. Palmer, the kid from Manchester City, had 1 of his 4 shots on target. And Mo Salah is back on the shots data dump with 2 of his 4 shots on target. Russ, thoughts?
I mean, just the usual, I don't see any name that's kind of surprising that's on there. El Yunusi taking shots, but again, none on the target. I know we were a bit high on them at the start, but he hasn't really done well since then. I still have him, but I'm I kind of want to drop him too. I'm oh, bro, you're not giving me the points. Cole Palmer, is that the Man City boy that came off the bench? Yeah. His dad was also a pretty well known or renowned footballer too, right? Or something.
Oh, was he? I did not know that. Yeah. Well, every day's a school day.
Yeah, and I don't know. I know why I bring it back to Liverpool, but in the first one, only 1 Liverpool player. In this one, only 1 Liverpool player, till 4 at least, as well. So that's kind of interesting to me.
Is it worrying interesting?
No, it's maybe just maybe it was Arsenal. Right? Arsenal, as I don't think the scoreline kind of showed, okay, yeah, they did play super defensively and obviously they were a bit heated, but then at that point, Ramsdale did obviously kind of keep them into the game as much as he could, but at the same time, I don't know, I don't think that was a 4-0 type of game though. What's
really strange to me is that the Chelsea boys aren't on this. Now I'm wondering, did I even pull the data correctly? Hold on. Let me do a quick scan again. Highest number of key passes, 3. I mean, Ben Chilwell is on that list. Yeah.
There.
I guess I did miss that. And then if I had to look at shots as well, the highest number was 3 by N'Golo Kante and Ben Chilwell. But the highest number we covered was 4. So that's quite interesting, right? Okay, so moving on to accurate crosses into the box. Highest number recorded was 3 by Cresswell of West Ham, Ryan Fraser of Newcastle, who came on as a substitute, Dwight McNeil, and Matty Target. By the way, Matty Target popping up on a couple of those lists because he's back on corners, FYI. And then the next highest number was 2 accurate crosses into the box. Long list again. Ait Nouri, who also takes corners. Gallagher, Goodmanson, Cucho Hernandez, Iwobi, Messina, Jacob Murphy of Newcastle, Jadon Sancho, Andros Townsend, Tsimikas, and Yarmolenko. Anything pop out from that for you?
I think you're right. Like, Matty Target back on the crosses. No Trent and crosses is always interesting. Again, like, heavy on like the fullback is obviously like, Target, Ait-Nouri, Tsimikas, Murphy kind of plays right back ish. But, Cresswell obviously left back. So yeah, those are always things kind of interesting. Sancho, do you think Sancho's finally seeing a turn now that there's new management?
Possibly, with a bit more common sense at the wheel. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. But you're right. I don't know if it'll be like first pick, type of numbers. But I think might get a bit more like attacking returns than he has. What is he? That was his first goal for United, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Shit, eh?
Hell of a finish, but
yeah.
I mean, went off the top of the post, but yeah, still.
Yeah.
Kind of lucky, kind of not. Like, okay, I mean, I would be interested in a buy low Sancho right now. Before I wasn't. Now that he's gotten his first goal, that always breeds confidence and all that jazz, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Do you think, though, before we move on, that T-Bebe's position, like average position, he's playing more now in the middle of the attacking third. Do you think that is kind of maybe affecting his accurate crosses into the box? Like they're more direct passes now?
His first assist was obviously a cross. His second assist was also a cross.
But it was along the floor, right? It wasn't like a cross in the air sort of thing. Yeah.
It was in a cross in the air, so maybe it doesn't get counted that way. So, that's what I'm thinking. Like, he's still on corners, but like I see like him putting a lot of like deep corners, not like put pressure on the keeper sort of corners too. But like he's still like, what is it, 9 assists and 9 goals and assists in his last 4 games for club and country or something.
Something disgusting like that, bro.
Yeah,
like, I wouldn't even believe like maybe 10 assists in like last 6 games sort of thing.
I was thinking about this and like do you think there's a best right back conversation happening in England, and because of that you're seeing like Reece James playing so well, Trent playing so well, maybe not Wan-Bissaka, but like do you think like these two are like the up and coming, like I gotta do better than this guy, and this guy goes like, bro, I'm better than you, like, do you think that's kind of proliferating some of that like the attacking returns that we're seeing from some of these players?
I never really looked at it that way. Like they would kind of listen to the noise in the community or something like that. But for me, it was more so that TAA must be gutted that he didn't get to go to the Euros. And now he's basically like, I want to start at the World Cup sort of thing. So I think that is what he's playing for. I mean, maybe you're right, though, because there is serious competition for that right back spot, right? If England has anything, they have a great list of right backs at their disposal. So maybe it is like that. Who knows? But I mean, in terms of overall, I mean, we're probably going to have like biased opinions to a certain extent, right? I mean, if you're saying like you're looking purely at attacking, I would say Trent maybe edges it, though James is like really stepping up his game, like fixture by fixture.
Edges it is like giving too much credit to James, in my opinion. The stat was, and like I gotta find the stat, but the amount of assists that James has this season, his entire career, Trent has alone in this season.
Who do you think has better goal threat, though? Because James scored last night against Juventus.
Yeah, but like, why do you like? But what's the other stat on Chelsea? Like, they've got like 8 goals from their defenders now, and they're not getting any goals from their like attacking players. Like Chalobah also scored last night. I think Rudiger also scored last night too, or something.
No, Rudiger gave the assist.
Or he assisted.
Yeah. To Chalobah,
Rudiger gave the assist. Yeah,
but
like that's what I mean, right?
It also depends on the system that you're playing as well, right? Reece James is playing as a wing back, Trent is playing as a full back, sort of thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, okay, in terms of defending, come on, you've got to admit Trent isn't the best when it comes to defending. Like he can get caught out.
he can get caught out, but that's mostly but that's part of the system though, right? I feel if you look at his numbers on like 1-to-1 defending, you see his kind of improvements on like tackles won and balls recovered and those have gone up significantly over the past 3-4 years. So, but you're right, as a pure defender, and this is what everyone's kind of be like, but he can't defend and he's technically a defender, but like, that's not his role in like the team, right? His primary role is like set pieces and creativity from the wing and sometimes from the midfield, right? And that's why you need to have someone like Fabinho who can like jump into that spot, or someone quick like Van Dijk who can kind of cover him for there, because or I guess Van Dijk doesn't play on that side, Matip plays on that side, but someone quick who can like help recover the ball after you kind of lose it, right? But if you just watch him eye test wise, I don't know, like his defending is like significantly gone up a lot, right? And yeah, like you get caught out of position, but you get caught out of position because you're attacking so much, right? Sometimes he used to be that soul that like, even like maybe Salah was the only player that was kind of furthest forward, and then it was Trent. So
yeah. I mean, we could have this debate for hours and hours, but let's wrap up the data dump.
Yeah.
A couple random extra stats. Block shots. There was a high of 4 block shots by Hanley from Norwich. He's back in the team. And I think he got around 21 points or something. I think he scored a goal as well. That probably helps his points. A high of 12 aerials by James Tarkowski, because the next highest number was like 8. And I think there was like a 2 or 3-way tie around that time. Fouls suffered. There was a tie for the highest number. 5 fouls suffered between Mane and Ivan Toney. And then the highest number of offsides this game week. Interesting, this one to me, because 4 by Bukayo Saka and then 3 by Aubameyang, and then the rest were like 2s and 1s. I thought that was really interesting because they did score an offside goal versus you guys as well, right?
Yeah.
Which was really, really good to see. Like, ESR had this cheeky little back heel to Auba, who was offside, to Laka, who put it in the net. But how do you think Arsenal like handled that game versus you guys, though?
I think they handled it as best as they could have. Mostly because there's a clear distinction on the top teams in the Premier League are, and everyone kind of after. And the only team that's kind of skirting with that is probably like West Ham.
Yeah.
Right? They beat Liverpool.
But they lost to Wolves 1-0 though. So, I mean, that lapse is there, you know?
Yeah, like that consistency is there, right? But like you saw, like, you know, Arsenal was 10 undefeated in this game, coming into this game, 9 undefeated into this game, and then they got shown their place. And to kind of put it like, you know, as bluntly as possible. So you do see the improvements. You do see there's a lot of good structure. But after that fight that broke off on the touchline between Klopp and Arteta, like Arteta thought like that would kind of like spar up the Arsenal players. But like then Liverpool just like went ham, and they could have scored even like 2 or 3 more goals had it not been for Ramsdale's incredible keeping. Yeah. Like, man, sometimes his ability to just get on that second pass is incredible. Like on that second touch, like on that second shot is just incredible. Like it's unbelievable sometimes.
Yeah, his recovery is serious, yo. They definitely do have a proper keeper in Ramsdale. But it didn't help though that Lokonga and Tavares kept giving the ball away. We're just really nervous, that sort of thing. So that kind of set the tone for, we know how this is gonna go. But
like it was at press though, right? And they got caught off guard.
For sure.
So maybe in the return fixture they're a bit better.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so now let us move on to the league updates. Ross, why don't you kick us off with your update?
I won in Banter Boys. I think I was going up against Manos. I actually don't know sometimes because there's like 11 people in that league and none of them have their names on it. So if it's a new name, I'm like, I don't know who you are. But I won in Banter Boys. It was kind of weird because like I was like Pulisic is gonna start and Ziyech is gonna start, and in the last moment, before I went to sleep at like 3:00 at night, I took them off of the lineup, and I woke up and I was like, okay, cool, they didn't start. Thank God I took them off. And lo and behold, both of them came on and both of them goal and assisted for each other.
Yeah.
I still won though, But that was like a critical factor for my OG league because Neeraj did the same. He left Ziyech and Pulisic in the lineup. For me, I was like, oh, thank God. Like, they're not going to start 62 minutes in or whatever. Both of them go get the goal and assist. And I'm like, well, screw this. I lost. I got 121 in my OG leagues and I lost them. I lost because Neeraj had 150 points. And I'm like, wow.
Well, I mean, we know Neeraj is a very lucky guy in general, right? So I'm not surprised that happened.
But this league, it's kind of been unlucky for him though. I feel like his luck is just about to turn, but this season has been kind of unlucky for him.
So who's first in both of your leagues at the moment?
So I think Achim is first in the Banter Boys League and Ryan, our third co-host, is second.
Okay.
And in OG League, Daniel's first. But there's a big gap between in our Banter Boys League. There's a big gap between first to third and then fourth because I'm fourth right now. It's 27, 27, 27, and I have 19 points.
Oh wow!
So
okay.
It's a pretty big gap or something. In the OG League, it was gonna be a runaway something, but now it's a bit closer. Daniel's first with 30 points. I'm second with 27. Nathun's third with 24. Zaben's fourth with 21 or also 24, something like that. So it's becoming a lot closer. Me and Daniel were super ahead. We're up by 4 games in the first run around in the fixtures. But now that's kind of slowed down, so it's becoming a bit more competitive.
Yeah, nice to hear. Did you do any pickups, any interesting moves that helped you out?
I picked up Messi Lingard in our OG league. I was like,
what? Why?
Let's see what happens. Okay. He didn't even come on for the the Champions League game, I think.
I don't think so. No.
But I was like, yeah, let's see what happens. Maybe it's that time where, maybe I picked it up a week too early or 2 weeks too early where if he does leave in January, but I do have an extra spot in my my starting 11 is pretty solid. So I do can extend. I feel like he might get one last game before if he does ship out. And then in the Band Boys League, I picked up Matt Target. He was a free agent.
What?
I picked him up.
That's crazy.
I picked him up and I dropped him. And then Ryan picked him up. And then Ryan dropped him. And then I was like, man, I saw his points. I put a waiver on him. I'm like, I really hope I get him. His average points have been pretty bad. He's only averaging 6.5 points. So I feel like that's why he's so down the list that people might not have noticed him. And I was like, okay, cool.
He got 20 points in this game week, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. No goals and assists, right?
Yeah, well, a clean sheet, but...
Yeah, clean sheet,
yeah. But I don't think he got an assist. But, I mean, it's still crazy, bro. No. So, yeah, good pickup there, man. All right, so let's do some updates in the public leagues for the Banter Boys account. Jumping across to the community league. In the Traore Triad League, we had a loss to Draft Hash, 94.5 to 95.5. I lost by a point, Russ. It's so painful, man, when that happens. And that's crazy. Actually, 3 other people in our league lost by 1 to 2 points. So, misery loves company, guys. Looking at you too, Robbie P. But yeah, what was crazy about my opponent's luck? So this is the guy that I actually traded Saka for Sar. And this was one game week that Sar did really, really well and Saka did nothing, right? But he also had a little bit of luck because he got 3 clean sheets out of the Aston Villa Brighton game. And one of his clean sheets was from Cucurella, who came off just before Aston Villa scored the 2 goals, right? He had Martinez and he also had Matty Target like you did. And you know what's crazy? 2 of his players in the starting 11 also had -1 points, bro. So it was how did I screw this up? How did I screw this up? Your boy Charlie Taylor gave me 0 points. That didn't help, Probably should have benched him against Crystal Palace though, right? I keep not giving Crystal Palace respect. I think that's my problem.
Yeah, I know. I did the same, but I could have played Chalobah or I could have, played... I had Sterling on my bench, bro. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah, you win some, you dim some, sort of thing, But I think the waivers are gonna get cleared later today. They it didn't happen on the regular day yesterday because apparently Fantrax was fucking up in the UK for a bunch of people, so they kind of just gave everyone
All over
a
the
break.
world, bro.
Bro, like Fantrax still on international break, fam. I cannot believe
is that
that tweet
That's
got so many likes. Every time we put out like data stuff and useful stuff, and I'm like, oh, I hope this helps people. No, we talk shit, and then everyone's like, yes, I like this.
yeah. Is that our highest liked tweet or most liked tweet?
I think so. I'm gonna have to look into the analytics, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Like we had 30 something likes on that.
Yeah.
I think it is.
But if you look at the standings, I'm still locked into 5th place at the moment on 19 points. But first and second are only on 27 points. So, still a long way to go. If we look at some of the streaks, the longest win streak is 3 wins. The longest losing streak is 3 losses. Actually, Robbie P has 3 losses in a row. And he's playing me this upcoming game week. So hoping to extend that to 4. Sorry, Robbie. No trades and like I just mentioned about the glitch in Fantrax, so no waivers that I can really talk about. We look at the Champions Cup, the knockout tournament in that. So I got a win there at least with my same score of 94.5. I beat the other team who had 90.25. So I not really confirmed my second place spot, but I'm on 15 points. But the interesting thing is that 3rd to 5th has 12 points. And I think I'm playing like the 5th place team. I've got like a buffer of 43 points for. So if I lose, maybe I could squeeze out on points for. But I'm trying not to get it to that. The first place has kind of already confirmed its progression. So you know what? Fingers crossed that this game week I can seal my way into the knockout stages. Let's jump across into the International Genie League. So in the Sunday League, I had a win, a big resounding win, 145 points to 89.75 points. My squad got me like 3 goals and 4 assists, bro. Matt Ritchie, 17 points. We talked about, his possible increase in points. He's going to perform better. He didn't really play as a winger, but he played a lot better. And, maybe that's the Eddie Howe effect. Even Billy G got 15.5 points. We talk about new manager bounce, Maybe Billy G is now like a proper asset again. I mean, I was gambling between either picking up him or picking up Cantwell. And I was like, you know what? Billy G's probably going to be on corners, which he was. He shared them with Rashika. And I figure he's going to probably feed the attackers versus, Cantwell is probably going to have the opportunity to finish shots or opportunities, that sort of thing. I still have to catch up on Match of the Day highlights. So, I mean, I'll get a better look then. Though I think Cantwell only finished on 0.5 points. The problem is, though, my defense in that team or that league or whatever is kind of shitting the bed. Bro, cough if you have to. We can edit that shit.
No, I'm going to go get water, bro.
All right. But, yo, T-Bay is absolute gold, bro. 32 points. Like, can we, like, talk highly of him? Like, even more? Like, I mean, solid first pick every season, right?
When do we not, bro? Like, I think our podcast should be Trent Alexander-Arnold fan club.
For sure. Oh, man. I love T-Baby. He's so good.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, looking at the standings, in 3rd place...
One sec. Before we go on.
What's up?
Have you noticed his increase in size?
Like, he's a little buffer.
He's a little buffer. He's a bit taller too. He's
what do you mean he's a bit taller?
He's like 21 years old, bro. He's gonna keep growing for like
he's
2 more years or something.
Oh yeah, true. Damn, bro. What's his official height? Let me look this shit up.
6'1", I think.
Alexander.
But I don't know. I don't know if I'm including like his hair or not. But
he's 1.75 meters, bro. I'm taller than Trent. What are you talking about?
How tall are you? 1.76.
I'm like 1.83 or 1.85. I'm like 6 foot.
Nah, bro, that's not updated, bro. I'm telling you, he's somewhere near 6 foot right now, bro.
I don't know. It's
maybe it's the hair.
It says 5'9". Maybe it's the hair. It's definitely the hair, bro. You know what? Trent's fro. I love that fro, man. That's a proper fro, bro. But let's move on. Standings update. In 3rd place, is it? Yeah, on 24 points. First place is on 30 points, but he has a 5-win streak. The guy seems unstoppable at the moment, man. And it's so annoying. He's done like a lot of trades here and there, and like he's got Harry Kane and Cristiano Ronaldo, bro. Like, how unfair is that? Huh? Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
But you know what? You keep smashing it, Jacob. I'll make sure that I break that streak when we meet up again. But the one thing I did want to mention, my condolences to the guy who's last place in that league. He is currently on a streak of 9 losses. Ross, I know we talked about this as like situational and stuff like that, but should we maybe say a prayer for this guy? Like, what can we do for this guy, man?
I feel like we need to get him and Kyle into the same like chat room.
Yeah, just to see what they talk about. Exactly. All right, and again,
Sorry, Kyle.
no shade, but shade. But yeah, again, can't talk about trades and waivers, though they are clearing in 9 minutes because we're recording at 2:51 p.m. Well, BST on Wednesday. You know, we should probably mention this info at the start of the pod, but you know, it's us, so whatever. But Perfect 11 season 2, because apparently season 1 ends up to 10 game weeks. We finished like 4 spots out of that, so we're trying to finish top 10 in the next 10 weeks or whatever. Terrible start though. Currently sat in 36th place at 158 points, but first place is only on 203 points, right? So it's not too far away. Ryan is also playing as well. He's currently in 82nd place on 130.75 points. So I mean, it didn't help that I had a few bad picks like Bruno, Bowen, Mount, Rashford. Like a couple of them were like half-time substitutes as well. But the picks that definitely saved my ass, T-Bebe, like we know how much we love this guy. Reece James, Gallagher, Ronaldo with his lucky-ass assist. Ederson with the clean sheet, right? Cancelo, and my last pick, which was so clutch and so lucky, Reguilon, bro. Because a lot of people went like Heung-min Son, Harry Kane, that sort of stuff, you know?
I love Reguilon, bro. I had him in my league and I went up against him in my matchup, man. But like, I've been high on him. He's a top 5 defender this year.
Well, I mean, now that Conte is there and we know how good Conte's wingbacks are in his system, yeah, I would be a lot higher in Reguilon right now.
But even before, he was like putting up solid points regularly.
Yeah. Fair. I mean, he is their best fullback at the moment, right? If you had to compare all of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, yeah, if you had to compare all of them, he is, you're right. But there's not that big of a competition.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So now I think is the perfect time for us to take our halftime pint, and we will be back after the break. And we are back. All right. So now we're going to run through some Twitter questions. Ross, can you kick us off, bro?
Yeah, for sure. So our first 4 questions are from the same, from Brandon at Brandon Brisbow. New manager bounce for United. Villa defense serious option now. Highest rated targets least likely to get a festive period rotation. Can you do another post-drinking session pod? Was hilarious.
All right. I kind of want to answer those in reverse, but no, we'll start with the first question. New manager bounce. I mean, based on that Champions League performance, I don't think so, but maybe. Like, I don't know. Russ, how do you feel about this one, man?
The players, from what my understanding is, and what I see on social media and their reactions on like the pitch, is that the players really liked Ole. There's a moment where I think after the Watford game, Bruno went to the away fans, and like obviously the away fans were like booing Ole, but the Bruno was like, it's not just the manager, it's all of us, and it's all of us. Don't like scapegoat the manager or whatever, right? So I feel like there is a lot of respect for Ole. So I feel in that sense, they would, if it's Carrick or whatever, I don't know, maybe like if they're going to make him the interim manager or not. I don't think they are. I think they're definitely going for someone like Valverde is a name that we've kind of heard. Steve Bruce is a name that we've kind of heard. But
even Pochettino,
like,
bro.
But Pochettino is going to be like a more long-term option, right?
Yeah.
Pochettino is something, if they get Pochettino, they get Pochettino, and they want to keep him for about a few years. So in that regard, let's see, like they still have a very talented team, right? Ronaldo, Sancho, Rashford, Bruno, Greenwood, Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Varane. I mean, like they still have a pretty talented squad on paper. So
you were doing so well,
maybe
until you mentioned Harry.
Yeah, I know. But like on paper, he's a pretty good defender. For England, he plays pretty well, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, the thing for me, like, I think Ole was just tactically inept. Like, he didn't know how to react properly when the team would concede or go down or be in a difficult situation, right?
Yeah.
Like, even his substitutions and stuff weren't always the best sort of thing. So, I mean, I don't think it's as much of a bounce, but maybe just Carrick and, I mean, Fletcher's his assistant. I believe that's who was standing by him for the Champions League game. So maybe they just have better tactical prowess, right? Like, I don't know. Like, can you say maybe Ole is better at producing attacking football, but as midfielders, Carrick and Fletcher, maybe they have a better idea of, how the game works as like an entire system sort of thing, So I don't know if that's a weird analysis to make.
Yeah, but these people are still there under Ole, though. So, right? So that, hopefully it's not like these people weren't allowed to kind of like have their influence on the coaching side of the team, right? So, I don't know. Like, you're right. Like, I think in game management, Ole was definitely not there. And I think when you're always managing a club like United, you will always be under a magnifying glass, right? Any mistake will be torn apart and you'll be torn apart. So that's always something to kind of take. You have to have either the best manager, and which is always tough to fill because you haven't had someone to fill in after Sir Alex Ferguson, right? Dave Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, and their best performance in this was Jose Mourinho's second season. But then things went to shit. Ole, right? Those aren't like Jose Mourinho did a lot with that team, and plus you're still working with the bureaucracy that is the Glazers. So
yeah. Them Glazers be wildin', bro.
Exactly.
Next part of that question, the Villa defense, if it's a serious option now. I mean, you know about Gerrard, and I mean, I don't know how closely you followed his Rangers stint, etc., and keeping clean sheets and all that. I think maybe the fullbacks are probably I think Matty Target is going to be a better option than he was before, sort of thing. I think maybe a drop off in cash sort of thing, but I don't foresee Gerrard playing a back three. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he would play a back four unless it absolutely demanded him to play a back three, but apparently he is very high on fullbacks being very involved in the attacking play. After all, he is going for that Liverpool job, so he is trying to emulate that. But from what I remember, from what I've seen, that Rangers team was built super defensively. It was a solid defensive team that then had the right pieces up top to kind of complete that whole team. So yeah, you're right. Matty Target would be the best kind of option, but I feel like someone like Tyrone Mings would still be able to kind of start performing a lot better, especially now that it's also going to be a new manager bounce too.
So how would you rank, let's say, including Martinez in that back four? If you had to pick them in order, who would you go from first to last?
Matty Target, Matty Cash, Martinez, and then the center backs. Probably Tyrone Mings and whoever their second back. I think most of it might be helping build that confidence back up, right? That's kind of what it is at the start. And does Gerrard help with that? Is Gerrard able to kind of build that up? We'll have to kind of see. You can't necessarily predict those things. You're assuming it would. And then hopefully he can get back to his, Tyrone Mings can get back to his former previously best that he hasn't been able to show this season at all.
Yeah. Okay, so highest rated targets, least likely to get festive period rotation.
Matty Target.
I see what you did there. Yeah, highest rated targets. You'd assume, I don't know, how would I answer this? I don't know why the first person that came to mind was Harry Kane, Oh, apparently I heard he ran the most in that Leeds game or something.
Wow.
or Harry Winks, or somebody was the second highest or just above Harry Kane or something like that. But yeah, so I mean, stuff like that, I would say, like Harry Kane you go for. What, Ronaldo? Do you think Ronaldo plays so many games at that age back to back to back? He got subbed in like a couple minutes to go in that Champions League game, so I don't know if
Rashford, he also started the season late, so he might be a bit fresh.
Lukaku, now that he's had a bit of a rest with his injury and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, injury recovery isn't technically a rest, but yeah, maybe to that extent, right? I saw something on like, him Tuchel making comments on like Christian Pulisic becoming a fullback or like a wing back.
Yeah, he's done it before. Like Cho, he's deployed Cho like that as well, right?
Yeah, but not just at Chelsea, even at like Dortmund.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
So, not kind of unrelated to the question, but now that you brought up Lukaku, I'm thinking about targets like someone like you can probably get, right? So
Bailo on Bamford, I hear he's back on the grass, training again. Not full team training, but
apparently James Justin looks really good too.
Yeah, but Brendan Rodgers says a lot of shit. I don't know if to believe him completely. Like,
yeah, that's true. Brendan Rodgers does say a lot of shit. I'm trying to think other people who might get less rotation. I'm thinking someone like Ollie Watkins too.
Yeah. That guy's built like a brick, yo. Like,
yeah, man.
He always runs. He doesn't stop running. And like even last season, he played almost every minute of every game. So, yeah.
Yeah, especially if your partner is Danny Ings, who's known to pick up an injury here and there. You want to make sure that you have some consistency up top.
Yeah, Danny hamstrings ain't reliable, bro. I was never high on drafting him this season, but people were, so whatever.
Yeah.
Who else is there?
But yeah, that's kind of all that I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to say. Like, I would typically go for, like, the captains of the team. Like, I don't know if they're obviously highly rated, but, like, the centerbacks of the team, right? You'd assume that they expend the least amount of energy in that position.
The goalkeepers, too.
Yeah, well, goalkeepers are a given, I would hope. But even like some of the main penalty takers and stuff, or look at which teams have those injuries, right? Like Ben Chilwell came off with like 2 assistants kind of helping him, like the med staff or whatever, helping him off. Apparently there was pain in his knee, so maybe Marcus Alonso plays through the Christmas period, and we know like he is really, really fit. Like when he started the season, he played all of those games in a row, right? So yeah, it's a very, I don't know, it's an interesting one to answer. So I don't know.
I'd also look at like the deputies on that point, right? Like, so I'll give you Robertson's deputy is Tsimikas, and Tsimikas has been playing incredible football.
Yeah.
So easy to rotate. Trent's deputy is James Milner or Nico Williams, and there's a significant drop off, especially because James Milner is currently injured or like injured-ish. Right? So, like, just things to kind of consider. So, maybe Trent doesn't get that much rotation, but Robbo does.
Yeah, so, and like I said, like, strikers for other teams as well, like Raul Jimenez as well. I think he's on the up, massively on the up at the moment. Mm-hmm. Maybe like Dennis the Menace, those sort of guys. Josh King. I mean, people who aren't very injury prone. Right, as well. Like, I don't know if I'd be very keen to have the likes of Antonio or Callum Wilson, like knowing how those guys, like their previous seasons and how they've kind of reacted, etc. Right, during like these congestion games. So, but yeah, let's move on to the last part of the question. About can we do another post drinking session on the pod? We could. I mean, the timing needs to work out for you as well, right? So
yeah, I don't want you drinking at like 2 p.m. on a Wednesday.
I mean, I could be just saying, I would do it for the pod, for the people, I'd take a hit for the people. But yeah, it can.
What they want.
It's exactly what they want. But yeah, it can be organized. We'll drop it. Like as a surprise. You'll just come listen to the pod and be like, oh yeah, Andrew's absolutely fucking wasted. Like. Yeah, sorry for cursing. But thank you so much for your question, Brandon. Let's move on to the next one. And Ross, it's our community favorite, our Banter Boys favorite. You love his name.
Yeah. No one.
Exactly.
No one loves us. At Chirag Verma, his first question is Maguire worth holding? And his second question is, also discuss which CBs are worth keeping in your squad, ROS.
I'm assuming that means rest of season.
Yeah.
So Maguire worth holding. Well, you know my view on Maguire if you've listened to us in the past. I mean, if Ryan was here, I know Ryan would seriously be backing him. He's like, oh yeah, the guy wins aerials, but I'll be like, he also wins yellow cards. Like, I mean, he'll get you the occasional goal, maybe 1 in every 20 games at the moment. But Russ, how do you feel about this? Maybe you can be the tiebreaker.
Like, holding, but not starting.
Yeah, then why the hell are you holding him? I feel like that's a waste of a spot.
For when Varane comes back.
Varane. What is Varane, bro?
Varane.
What was this Varane, bro?
I know, French. French, you know.
A little daisy
There's
French.
an accent. There's an accent at the Varane. So Raphael Varane.
Yeah.
Maybe if Varane comes back, he becomes a better option.
Maybe.
So,
I mean, Varane wasn't great at the ghost points. I dropped his ass. I was like,
yeah,
screw this.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I feel like there's always better people. Like, okay, if you look at the points of like Hanley versus Maguire, like, ignore the fact that one plays for Norwich, one plays for Manchester United. You look at the points purely. You tell me you're not going to pick Hanley at the moment? Just because he has more shit to do.
Yeah, I guess if you put it like that, you're like... So, but at the same time, it is a Manchester United defender. I don't know how much you want to be dropping them.
But the thing is that I think the clean sheet that they kept last night against Villarreal was like their third one in like 26 or 27 games. So you're not even guaranteed that at the moment. Like, I can't remember the last time they kept a clean sheet at Old Trafford as well.
They don't win at Old Trafford, bro, let alone keeping clean sheets.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe you could do what Ross suggested and just kind of keep him as a backup option. I always say play on the heartstrings of them Manchester United fans and try and trade him maybe, you know? Someone will definitely try and pick him up.
Yeah, or Ryan.
Yeah, or Ryan. So. Yeah. But the next part of his question, which centerbacks are worth keeping in your squad rest of season? So, I mean, is this like... just in general, under 50%, over 50%, like.
I mean, Rudiger, Christensen, Stones, and Laporte. Even though they rotate a lot, maybe more Stones than Laporte. Maybe more Stones than Diaz too. Van Dijk.
I would drop Stones or Laporte. You know, I feel like they're better options to kind of play on the waiver wire. Like, I would keep Diaz out of the three of them. Agreed, 100%. Like Rudiger.
I don't know. I feel like Stones is still a bit better on points than Laporte.
Yeah, I mean, you get points when you play though.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You get points when you play though. So these are easy options because these are the three best teams in the league.
Okay,
right
so
now.
I'm gonna run through the quick 20 teams, quick, and you'll tell me. I'll list off the options, sort of thing. So I mean, Chelsea, like, yeah, you keep because best defense. Man City, Ruben Diaz. Liverpool, obviously Virgil van Dijk. I mean, what are you gonna do between Matip and Konate? Who are you holding between those two?
Matip, not Konate.
Okay,
that's an easy one for me.
West Ham, Zuma or Dawson?
Zuma.
Arsenal, Gabriel or White?
White.
Wolves. I mean, I feel like those back three are kind of solidified. They don't change, right? But if you had to drop one of Cody, Kilman, or Saiss, who are you dropping?
Cody.
Davinson Sanchez, Eric Dyer, Tanganga. Who are you keeping?
Ugh. Next, bro.
Okay, I'll say Dyer because he takes direct free kicks and shit. Manchester United, we kind of talked about that. I would probably not own either of them. But Brighton, Duffy, Dunk, Webster, or Dan Burn. Keep one of them. Next.
I mean, it's a tough one. Dan Burn and Lewis Dunk get good amount of points. So does Webster. But like, I don't know if I keep them in my squad consistently.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Crystal Palace is an interesting one. Keep one of Guehi or Anderson.
I'd keep both, to be honest.
Yeah. Yo, Crystal Palace on the up, on the rise. At Everton, Godfrey or Michael Keane. Keep one.
Michael Keane.
Yeah, agreed. Leicester City. Ugh, I would not keep any. But Johnny Evans, Soyuncu or Amarte. Keep one.
Neither. I'm just waiting for Fofana to come back, bro. Maybe he's not coming back at all. So
You know what blows my mind is Vestergaard gets benched. And Soyuncu and Amarte plays above him. Like, that blows my mind. Like, why the hell did he even move?
yeah.
All right, Southampton. Keep one between Bednarek or Salisu.
Oof. Both are streaming options, to be honest. Like, not people depending on the fixture, I'd pick them up, or depending on the fixture runs, I'd pick them up.
I'd probably keep Salisu, but with AFCON coming up, you might need to be a little careful with that one. For Brentford, Janssen, Pinnock, or who it is, I think Ayer or whoever, while he's out, there's like a bunch of streaming options.
Pinnock.
Yeah. It's not even a debate. Yeah. True.
It's not even a debate, bro.
True. Okay, I mean, we talked about Aston Villa. Obviously, I think Mings over Konsa. For Watford, are we really touching any of their defenders? I would rather touch their fullbacks than their defenders. Their centre-backs,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And we're talking about centre-backs specifically. So, at Leeds, keep one of Liam Cooper or Llorente.
Llorente, I think.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there. Burnley, this is a tough one, I would say. And probably the toughest one of them all so far. Tarkowski or Ben Mee?
Like, gun to my head, I'm picking one. Or, like, gun to my head, I'd pick Tarkowski.
Yeah.
But, again, I'd keep both.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Both are really good on the ghosties, man. Norwich, I mean, I don't know who the rest are, but I would probably gamble risking it on Hanley. I think we would keep Hanley, right? Based on his ghosties and all that stuff. But the thing is, my problem is I've never had luck with these Norwich players, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. You're right. I'm not even looking at Norwich's defense.
And
to be honest,
think the same thing with Newcastle defense as well.
Yeah, not yet, at least.
Yeah.
Maybe if they turn it around, but not yet.
Okay, sweet. All right. And yeah, I think that's the full list. So, Shirag, as always, thank you for the question, no one.
Yep.
Love you,
thank
bro.
you.
All right. And now I think we can quickly move on to our final segment, which is the waiver picks. So in this segment, we basically talk about players that are under 50% owned. So, you have a better chance of picking them up in your leagues. So let's start off with the first fixture. Arsenal versus Newcastle. Ross, you want to take the home teams?
Yeah, sure. So the pick I'm suggesting is Thomas Partey, 28%. He still had a decent game against Liverpool, like 7 points. Obviously that midfield got overran, but I feel like against easier competition, he might see a bit better performance.
Yeah, and at Newcastle, I've got a bit of a list. Matt Ritchie, 49% owned. So, I mean, chances are you might not be able to get him. But yeah, on set pieces, loves to cross the ball, got an assist the previous game, I believe. Joelinton, I heard, this was one of his best games ever in a Newcastle shirt, 21% owned. If you need a striker, go pick him up. But I like these next two picks, I would say, as proper midfield options because, we've been struggling for midfielders this season, as we always keep saying. Jonjo Shelvey, 13% owned, and Ryan Fraser, 11% owned. Shelvey started the game, got 15.5 or something like ghosties. Ryan Fraser came out as a sub, got an assist, and also got a similar amount of points. So I think just because Eddie Howe effect and Ryan Fraser having played with Callum Wilson under Eddie Howe, that sort of thing, like he might be like, it might be the time to kind of jump on him. So go get him in your waiver wire if you can. All right, next game, Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa.
So, like we talked about the center backs, Guehi, 12% owned, Guaita, 48% owned, and Anderson, 19% owned. I don't know. Like, these are three defensive options, but like, we have been underestimating Crystal Palace a lot. So,
yeah. Sorry to interrupt. I just looked at my waivers that got processed. I got Billy Gilmore for Brian Mbuemo and Christian Pulisic for Lewis Dunk. You think I did good there? I spent $1 on Billy and $3 on Pulisic.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. And quickly looking at the next one, I got Ryan Fraser for Lewis Dunk for free. And that's about it. That's decent. Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Wait, did you go through your full Crystal Palace thing? Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Sorry to break schedule. All right. To Aston Villa with a little bit of salt because he's been injured and out for a while. Douglas Luiz, 47% owned. I assume he comes back into that midfield. He's too good to not start.
When he's fit, yeah. He also is on set pieces too. So
Yeah. Every now and then, some corners here and there. Okay, so the next game, Liverpool versus Southampton. Russ, who you got?
Ox 26%, also going up against his former team again, but he had a pretty good game against his other former team, Arsenal.
Yeah.
So
what do you get? 9 ghosties or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. No goals, no assists.
Yeah.
One of them was a clean sheet point. So
yeah, it's not too bad. For Southampton, I usually wouldn't suggest anyone because they're playing Liverpool and it's at Anfield. You assume it's gonna be a destruction, right? But maybe McCarthy gets a bunch of saves, right? 44% owned. I saw Ramsdale got a bunch of saves. Still ended up on 2 points because they conceded 4 goals in the end. But maybe Bednarek might, do a better job as well as a centre back. 26% owned. But you know what? I would be very cautious. If you have other options, go for those because the game is at Anfield. All right, next game, Norwich versus Wolves.
And I'm hoping, for Norwich, I'm hoping these are the most updated percentages because I only looked at them last night. But Billy G, 38%, and Timo Pukki, 47%.
Yeah, Billy G has those corner duties, right? So them ghosties and Pukki's on a little bit of a form, man. So I love those picks. Man. All right, for Wolves, Ait Nouri, 43% owned, Kilman, 24% owned. If you think Wolves are going to keep another clean sheet because they kept one versus West Ham, then, go for these guys, especially Ait Nouri because he has the corners. So easy ghosties for key passes, possible assists. He got one for the guy I suggested, Kilman, right? Kilman's first goal for Wolves. So yeah, both decent picks if you can't get Saiss in your league. I wouldn't necessarily go for Cody. All right, next game, Brighton versus Leeds.
No one from Brighton, to be honest.
Oh, so Chirac then.
Yeah. Chirac, you can play for Brighton.
And at Leeds, Dan James, 35% owned, and Geldhard, 5% owned. Dan James, because he kind of popped up on the data dump, right? So he maybe is having an upside in form or points or whatever. But it might be temporary while Rodrigo and Bamford are coming back. No, Rafinha apparently wasn't out for that long. He just had an illness. And you know what? I would say that was Harrison's best game in a Leeds shirt all season as well, right?
Yep.
Maybe be a little cautious on that. But until Bamford is back, I think Geldhard is decent pickup, 5% owned. He looks really, really good on the eye test. Gets a little bit of ghosties here and there. Kind of a sharp player, man. But yeah, next game, moving on to the Sunday fixtures. Brentford versus Everton kicks us off. 4 of them are at the same time. But yeah, Brentford, who you got?
Sergi Canos, 45% owned. And Jensen, 27% owned. He should be back. Apparently, he is back in training from his COVID positive test, I think. That's what Thomas Frank said. I think that's his name. But yeah, he should be back and he should slot right back into that midfield.
Yeah, and he's got all the set pieces and thing, right? So ghosties, key passes, all that jazz. At Everton, man, it's a real worry. Richarlison is out with a booking or something like that. Demarai Gray pulled up his groin. They're missing so many of their players right now, man. Decore, DCL, I don't know if you can really expect anything from them. But if I had to make some picks, I wouldn't really bank on these guys. Maybe desperate picks. It will be 7% owned and Anthony Gordon, 2% owned. If you think they're going to get something. Because Brentford is still leaky, right? Not having David Raya has been a massive blow to them. Both defensively and attacking. It's crazy.
Yep.
All right, next game, Burnley versus Spurs.
So for Burnley, Ben Mee, 47% owned.
Yeah, I agree. We talked about him and Tarkowski, both good centre backs to keep on your roster. Good on the ghosties. Eric Dyer, though, for me at Spurs, 42% owned. I know, Ross, you were like, Spurs, no. But the guy takes Derek free
Not
kicks.
yet.
He takes
Yeah,
free
just
kicks,
not yet.
Yeah. But I would expect that, Conte is a defense first team sort of thing. So maybe he'll keep some clean sheets. But I won't lie, they struggled against a subpar Leeds team. So I agree what you mean, you know, like not yet sort of thing. So, all right, next game, Leicester versus Watford.
Brighton 13% own. I don't know why. It's just one of those things where I don't know why Brendan Rodgers isn't playing his best team, but Brighton did start the last game and had a good game. Well, 12, 13 points, no goals, no assists.
Yeah,
so
after losing 3-0 to Chelsea, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Why is this guy not starting? I mean, he won a title with Leicester, man. He's quality.
Yeah.
But the guy I'm gonna suggest from Watford, and Ryan shouted him out to me. He the other day he got 4 points in 44 minutes, and then I think he got 8 to 9 points in the full 90. But he's a loser. He's not a loser. He's a winner. 2% owned. Midfield asset. So if you're desperate for a midfielder, maybe gamble on him. Though I'm not sure if he's gonna keep his spot. Next game, Man City versus West Ham.
No one from Man City, to be honest.
Chirag again. Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean it's hard to have a Man City player unless you originally drafted them, right? Or maybe wavered them in the first couple of weeks. For West Ham, Ben Johnson, the Bunga boy, 46% owned. Fabianski, 40% owned. Though again, grain of salt, maybe try and avoid because they're playing at the Etihad. I doubt they're gonna keep a clean sheet. So maybe Fabianski over Johnson for the saves, you know. And final game, and the game of the weekend, I would say, Chelsea versus Manchester United.
So Sanjay, you suggested these. So Ruben Loftus-Cheek 17%, Ross Barkley 9%, and though Alonso's probably owned more than 50%, Chilwell is injured, so we might see Alonso starting instead. And the first two, I think Conte is also injured because he came off against Juventus. Yeah. Right? So
that's why I suggested them.
You might midfield shuffling.
Exactly, right? And Ruben Loftus-Cheek looked good when he came on, got the assist for the Callum Hudson-Odoi goal as well. So just be quick on them, or maybe move early on them, sort of thing, right? If you didn't get the players you wanted on your waiver, go pick them up right now, assuming we release this on time. But the one player I'm going to suggest for Manchester United, though it's a bit of a doubt now given his Champions League performance, Donny van der Beek, 29% owned. I highly doubt he starts. I think Bruno maybe will come back and start again. So, I don't know. Let's see. Maybe wait on lineup sort of thing. Or if you're a United fan...
Messi Lingard's going to start.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Messi Lingard, bro.
Sure, bro.
His game for the taking.
Sure, bro. Sure. Actually, how much is Messi Lingard owned in the league? Do you know?
I think it's 60-something%.
No fucking way. Bro, he's 51% owned. What the hell?
Oh.
So basically...
He just beats our metric.
51% of the managers that play Fantrax are United fans. Is that a hypothesis? A safe hypothesis to make sort of thing?
I mean, I'm one of them, so I can break your hypothesis right there. So...
49%, yay! But yeah, all right, yo.
But I don't know. It's a long term thing. It's man, whatever. I have the spot. I'm gonna pick him up.
Yeah, I'm jealous that you have an IR spot as well. I really wish I had an IR spot. Fuck COVID, man.
Yep.
All right, but yeah, that's all we have planned. That's all we wanted to talk about. Ross, you gotta go and teach. Is that what you gotta go do?
I gotta go. No, not today. But I gotta go do some work, man. Go to the office.
Yeah, we can't slack off all day talking about football as much as we want to. But any final thoughts, Ross? Pieces of advice for managers going into the Christmas congestion? Because we're coming into a week, right? Yeah. Where there's 3 game weeks in 1 week. So what is your advice for managing waivers, managing rosters, that sort of thing? Based on your previous experiences, previous seasons and stuff.
As much as you might want to, don't drop your top 2, top 3 players. Even if they're not, don't, I don't know, we see some incredible drops over the Christmas period, over the holiday period, man. People are dropping Timo Werner, or people are dropping, the other Chelsea people who don't start. But I feel like they might get, exactly. Yeah, so, as much as you might want to, maybe hold them off. And if they still don't start after the Christmas period, it's only, 2 extra games?
Yeah.
during the Christmas period.
Something like that. Yeah. Because then
Yeah.
they've got Champions League, and then we come back again into like a 3 game weeks into 1 week. But yeah, I mean, same thing that Russ said, right? If you've been holding Timo Werner and these sort of guys that could possibly get minutes because you see them get minutes in like the other European and cup competitions, yeah, maybe try holding on to these guys, right? You never know what can happen. Just make sure that you have a backup plan for your main guys, because your main guys could easily get benched in the next few game weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's basically it. Just have a good backup plan, and yeah, that's it. All right, Ross, I'll let you go. I think I've taken up enough of your time. I'm going to go get some soup because I've got a cold, and apologize if I sounded different. But yeah, Ross, I'll see you on the next episode, bro.
Yep. Peace.